Hello everybody and welcome to Johnny I Builds. This is my first video, so bear with me. I am going to go through a Python book called Automate the Boring Stuff with Python, which was recommended to me. This book is written by Al Swigert and it's Creative Commons license, which means that it's free for anybody who wants to access it. So I'm going to put a link below. Check it out if you're interested. I'm also going to link the videos where the author of the book, Al Swigert himself, goes through exercises on the book. So what I'm trying to do is follow the Feynman method. Richard Feynman was a famous physicist who I always liked, even though I'm not good at physics. And Feynman said that if you want to understand something well, you should be able to teach it in simple language. So as I go through this book, I'm going to go through each exercise or each page of the book and try to explain it in a way that even somebody like me would understand. So without further ado, thanks for watching, and here we go. On the screen you should see Python. So Python's a programming language that's popular, and the first thing I want to say, if I was speaking to myself, I would say, don't get intimidated by all of this stuff up here. It looks like it's a different language, and it is, but most of it doesn't mean very much. And what I mean to say is it doesn't matter too much right now, and it won't matter a huge amount later. So don't get intimidated by a bunch of stuff on the screen with different colors and arrangement of words that you don't understand or don't that looks intimidating. Don't worry about that. What I'm going to go ahead and do is first go over how I got to where I am. Python is a program that you can download. You can put a comment on YouTube if you want help downloading it. It's harder than it looks, probably always will be, and by the time I put the video up, there might be a new version of Python that you have to load differently. That's how life goes. Let me know though in the comments if you want me to help you install Python. Often that first step is the most frustrating. So once you have Python downloaded, you're going to want to start it, and so I'll kind of go over how that might be able to be done. You'll find Python on your desktop. You can also search for it at the start button, then hit Python idle. And of course I get pop-ups on the other screen that's recording. And when I hit Python idle, it just went to a web page instead of what I expected. We can struggle together. All right, let's try this one. So this is the command line for Python. We're going to use the Python idle because it's more user-friendly. I just have to find it. All right. One cool trick is to hit the Windows button and then the left-hand arrow, which will put this on your left, and then a good practice is to put an open notepad on your right. So I will go ahead and do that. I just went to File and New in idle. and put that on the right. Okay, so what you have right in front of you is basically an advanced calculator, a very advanced calculator. It works kind of like Microsoft Windows. You can move around and back and whatnot. And so what you can start by doing is the most simple command that you can do in a computer program. When I first started doing this, I got embarrassed because I thought this is so simple, but it's deceptively simple because it is doing something that is really crucial and critical to computer programming, which is you're putting in an input, you're putting in something, and you're getting an output. Something is coming back out, and really, that's all that computers do. Electricity or electricity goes into a computer, a bunch of stuff gets done, and then you get something back out. Um, that's the core of what a computer is doing for you. So the first command is going to be print hello world. This is stereotypically um, the first piece of code that that a lot of people write who are students. So print hello world. Now look, I got an error. It said you did it wrong. A really important thing to mention in coding is when you get one of these, you should have absolutely zero apprehension about it. Who cares? You got an error. That's good because now you know more. So I hit print hello world, but it's saying that I'm missing something. So what it's saying is, and this is nice, newer versions of Python let you like actually tell you. So when I hit print, I gotta hit parentheses. So really what I'm doing is putting it in a way that the computer can understand. So I'll hit print hello world with the quotes and the parentheses. And that blue is the output. And now again, it seems so simple, but it's really, you've done a lot. I mean, okay, in some ways you haven't done much, but you've put in hello world in the right way and it's popped it back out for you. You have just written a computer program. Congratulations. So let me go over a couple things that this is. Print is a command, and Python puts it in purple. It's going to put a certain color for different types of things that you do, or different classifications of data, okay? Hello world, that's called a string, and a string has letters. Now the interesting thing is these letters map back to zeros and ones, but that's for another time. The blue, I think, is the output that comes back out when you put something in. So what we've done is we've told the computer to output this string, and it did it. I wonder if it can do it twice. This is the kind of thing where it is a fancy calculator, a very fancy calculator. If I put in print hello world times 2, what will it do? Ah, shoot, I got another error. So I was trying to do it, ask it to print that times 2. I think what happened was hello world is letters, so it's a string, and times 2 is an integer. That's what the int stands for, integer. So I think you can't really mix. I think that's a mathematical operation, and the way the program is set up, it won't let you do an integer times a string. So how do I get 2 hello worlds? Somebody can put in the comments if they want to. It's pretty early here, so I actually can't remember how I might be able to get that twice. Um, but what I can do is go to things that are purely integers. So print 2 times 2. And boom goes the dynamite. We got 4. Print. Oops. 6 minus 4. Uh-oh. I got an error. Who cares though? And the only reason I got an error was because I didn't put the parentheses in. Now I know this seems really simple, but the books I'm reading, and as well as the Al Swigert book that I mentioned earlier, I'm looking at it now and it says that you should practice doing these basic things because they'll be important, kind of like when you're driving. There's a lot of stuff you do without even thinking about it. So learning things like putting in your parentheses and knowing the different types of data types are really good for right now, because those are kind of the basic driving skills you need. And that's on page 4 of Swigert's book. He says errors are okay, and that was really helpful to me when I started. So going back to what we talked about before, we tried to add a string, which a string, by the way, is hello world, right? And we tried to make it times 2. Those are 2 different data types, and so it didn't like that. It just doesn't know how to do it. So what I'm going to do is stay within one type of data and add them together. So let's try, this is page 7 of the book, which is free online. Alice plus Bob. Oops, I had to. And it puts it together, and that's called concatenating. All it is putting it together. Whenever you hear concatenating, it's just putting things together. One thing I'm trying to remind myself of is why one parenthesis is used there, but 2 for a quote. So let's see what happens. You see what I mean? I put 1 parenthesis on Alice plus Bob, but I put 2 parentheses up here when I asked for that string. So I wonder what happens when we put print Alice plus Bob. Oops, I gotta put my parentheses. What do you think will happen? Let's see. Oops. I'm going to try this out with 1 parenthesis. Okay, give me Alice Bob. Now let me try print with my parenthesis. 2 quotes. Alice plus Bob. Did the same thing. So maybe the 1 parenthesis and the 2 are the exact same thing in Python. Let's check it out. We tried hello world before. So with 2 parentheses, let's try it with 2. And oh shoot, I gotta put parentheses. Not parentheses, I mean quotation marks before, sorry. Okay, I deduce that 1 parenthesis and 2 parentheses do the exact same thing in Python. Great, so this gets us through page 8 of Al Swigert's Automate the Boring Stuff with Python book, which I'm going to put on the description below. It's free. And we'll go ahead and stop there, and we'll pick it back up where we left off tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.